Welcome back! This is part 2 of my Python text adventure game. In the previous video, I showed how nested Python if-else statements can be converted into shorter code by using dictionaries, tuples, and lists. In this video, I'll tackle a different problem: what to do if the next question that should appear depends on an answer that the player gave 2 questions ago. The first thing I'm going to do is keep a history of the player's answers. For this, I'll use a list, and every time a question is answered using one of the acceptable options, the answer is appended or added to the end of the list. Next, I'm going to use a function to look at the player's answers and change the game's flow by making the question dictionary return a different value. What is a Python function? Simply put, it's a piece of code that you can run over and over by calling the function by its name in your code. Python has many built-in functions. Input is a function, print is a function, and so is len. You can also make your own custom functions by defining them. For this text adventure game, I've defined my own custom function and then used its name as a value in my dictionary. Because yes, you can do that. I also added new dictionary keys, which are existing answers joined by an underscore. These will become important later. I've changed my game code to handle both normal tuples, which are what most of my question and answer dictionary values are, and also cover the possibility that calling get on this dictionary might return a function instead of a tuple. To do this, I test if the value returned by get is a function by asking if it is callable. There's a technical explanation on the Python website about what callable does, but just know that for functions, callable will return true. If callable returns false, then the game just proceeds as it did before, treating the dictionary's returned value as a tuple whose first value is a string and whose second value is a list of answers. But if callable is true, then the game will call the function, giving it the player's answer history as a parameter. Inside the function, the tracked answers parameter is used to join the player's 2 most recent answers and then return it. The game code then looks for this key in the dictionary and returns the result, which the game will then treat as a question and answer tuple. And that is how my game is able to use a sequence of previous answers to pick what the next question should be. I'm sure some advanced Python programmers who found this video might comment that I just moved the complexity of the nested if-else statements to a different file. Or say that if I'm going to store the questions in such a complicated manner, then I might as well use Python classes and then the code would be cleaner. Those are valid points, but like I said in my previous video, I'm not claiming that my solution is the best way or the only way to make a text-based adventure game in Python. So feel free to take what parts of it you found useful and leave the rest. Some next steps I would suggest for the viewers to improve their game are, of course, try converting the questions and answers to Python classes. The second is to try adding an inventory for the player. Alta3's channel has a tutorial about this, which I've linked in the description. Lastly, how about trying conditional imports so the player can choose between 2 or more different sets of questions? That would make the game more interesting. Again, I've linked an article you can refer to in the video description. I would love to hear about the improvements you make to your version of this text-based Python adventure game. Tell me all about it in the comments.